Welcome to the Selling from the Heart podcast on the From the Heart Business Network. You've joined a global movement of sales professionals who are dedicated to being authentic and building trust. We call it Selling from the Heart. Together, we're on a mission to bring sincerity and substance to the sales profession we all love. Get ready to be inspired and equipped as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Darrell Amy.
Does your CEO value trust and authenticity as a foundation of your company culture? If so, they'll love my award-winning book, Selling in a Post-Trust World.
This powerful book dives into the principles of authentic leadership, showing how trust and meaningful relationships can drive real results. It's a must-read for leaders who prioritize people, connection, and culture.
Now, you can send your CEO a free copy of this game-changing book. It's simple, free, and the perfect way to celebrate a leader who leads with heart.
So visit ceo.sellingfromtheheart.net and we'll send a free copy of the book to your CEO today. That's ceo.sellingfromtheheart.net. Because leaders who value trust will embrace this book and take your company's culture to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to the Selling from the Heart podcast. Your co-host, Darrell Amy, here today with Larry Levine. What's going on, Larry?
All kinds of things. You know what I just thought of, Darrell? Come on,
Larry.
It's almost football season, Darrell.
It is. This is releasing in the fall. We have made it. This is going to be so much fun. Hey, are you ready for some unstoppable profit, Larry? We've got Mike Stromsoe in the house. This is going to be a fantastic conversation. At Selling from the Heart, we love the global network of sales professionals and sales leaders we get to interact with on a weekly basis. And of course, at the beginning of every show, we always love to give a shout out to one of our friends.
Yeah, this one goes all the way to Boise, Idaho, my son's alma mater at Boise State University. Shout out Broncos. Kyle Robinson, you're a great leader. You wear your heart on your sleeve. I'm so looking forward to working with you and your team, but thank you for stepping up and waving the flag on Selling from the Heart.
I love it, man. We really, really appreciate you. And if we're not connected with you, we would love to connect with you. Look us up on LinkedIn and let's get connected and let's get you connected to this incredible network of heart-centered sales professionals around the world. Speaking of heart-centered sales professionals, today we are honored to welcome a true trailblazer in the insurance world, someone who's devoted his entire life to helping others win, not just in business, but also in life. Mike Stromsoe is a veteran insurance agency owner, a respected coach, and the visionary founder of Unstoppable Profit Producer. With more than 3.5 decades of experience in the trenches, Mike has dedicated his career to empowering agency leaders and their sales teams grow their revenue, build authentic relationships, and create lasting, meaningful success. His signature people, processes, and promotion framework has helped countless professionals lead with their heart, maximize their influence, and build businesses that stand the test of time. And he's here with us today in the studio. Mike, welcome to Selling from the Heart. It's great to have you here.
I am honored, and it's my pleasure to be here, and I look forward to sharing whatever we can to help other people, right?
Here.
So good, Mike. So good.
Hats off to that. And as we get started, Mike, you know the question we ask every guest on Selling from the Heart, and that is, what does it mean to you to sell from the heart?
Yeah, I'm going to start with a story. And the story occurred more than 3 decades ago when I first started as an independent insurance agent. And I was a few months in, and I did not yet know anything about selling with the heart or selling, period. I was still in the learning stages. And I was doing direct mail advertising, and I got some people on the phone. A gentleman got on the phone one afternoon, and I was asking him all the questions. And after a couple of minutes in, he said, "Would you mind if I asked you a question?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "How long you been in the industry?" I said, 6 months. He goes, "I can tell." I said, "Was it something I said?" Or he goes, "No, I can just tell. But do you mind if I give you a tip?" I said, "Please." He goes, "And another little piece of information, I was an insurance agent for more than 30 years. And my tip for you is everything that you answered my questions with sounded like, forgive the term, a little bit of line of BS. And I'm going to recommend that in the future, that simply tell people the truth. Tell them like it is. When they ask you a question, just answer the question. And if you don't know the answer, tell them so. Tell them that you'll get the right answer. And remember this, you are here to serve them. And I heard that, and I'm taking this in. Later that night, I'm sure, and beyond that, I was reflecting on that. And then the words from my dad started ringing in my head, because my dad was the president of the Optimist Club and organizations. And he would say, we are here to serve. That was the moment that it all came down for me. And what I shared with my business teams, and I now teach other independent insurance agents, it's not about you. It's all about them. It's not about you. It's all about them. Them meaning the other people. And that's my answer to your one-liner question. It's all about the others.
Oh, you know what's so good about this? You could take that story and repurpose that to about a gazillion salespeople. It brought a smile to my face hearing that, Mike, because there's this age-old saying, with age comes wisdom. That guy imparted some wisdom on you that I guarantee stuck in your head, Mike.
Well, I'm still telling the story now almost 40 years later, and I remember it like it was yesterday. How fortunate was I that he stopped to do that, right? So
that's such a gift. Such a gift.
It was a huge gift.
I think those cold glasses of water we get early in our sales career are definitely helpful. But hey, you've gone on to help hundreds, maybe thousands now of people in the insurance industry become unstoppable profit producers. Thank you for that. And I'm really looking forward to unpacking this with you today, to take what you learned in the insurance agency and of course apply it to our friends in insurance, but all of our friends in sales. So I'm curious, when you think about unstoppable, inside the context of sales and growing business, what does that look like for you? What does that mean to you?
The great thing is the principles in the insurance industry are basically the same business principles in any industry. They are transferable. So as we grew our independent insurance agency business, it's all about relationships, and money follows trust. And so the goal is to build those authentic relationships and build the trust. And when people have that level of trust, the money will follow. But the goal is to build that trust first, and just to know that, hey, we're not for everybody, and we may not be the right business fit for everybody. I was being interviewed recently, and they asked me, what's one of the most important things that you wish you had known early on? What I wish I had learned earlier on was the art of disqualification. And simply from a business perspective, I do this a lot, and a lot of people I work with know exactly what that means. There's two kinds of relationships in the world: personal relationships and business relationships. And they are two different things. It's nothing personal against anybody. It's simply a business decision. We may not be a good fit, and that's okay. It's okay to maybe refer them to somebody else who can better help them. Because, let's face it, guys, there are millions and millions of business opportunities out there in the world. We don't need to be everything to every one of them. We want to find what we call the ICA, the ideal client avatar, and evaluate whether they're an ideal client for us, whether we can serve them in the best way at the highest level. And that's ourselves and our teammates and everything else. And so once we get to that point, we can identify that, then we can really go deep and build that kind of authentic, meaningful relationship and go deep on that relationship to build that trust. So that's just the beginning of it. And so, I started all by myself. I grew up in an agency. I worked for 11 years, and it was a wonderful cutting of my teeth, but I was hungry to start my own agency. So I left and started my own agency from scratch. And there it was again, long nights again. I mean, how am I going to do all this stuff? So when I started, I had to figure it all out again, but I did. And as I grew up and I started to add team members and teaching them our philosophy and our core values, and later what became our core purpose and everything that we became, that foundational piece is what we built off of. And everybody on our team operated from that same philosophy. And from there, we really had something that was special that people wanted to be a part of, and it took off from there. So great stuff.
Oh, this is so good. I want to zero in on a couple things that you said. Core purpose and core values. I applaud you, because when you know your core purpose, now this is going to play out whether you're a sales leader, president of a company, even a sales professional. When you know your core values and you know your core purpose, this helps you in the disqualification part of all of this, because not everyone's going to align to your core values. Not everyone's going to align to your core purpose. Guess what? That's okay. There's something for somebody else, but this helps you all in that process. I'm glad you brought this up, because not too many people zero in on, I got to disqualify.
I'm so grateful to Jacques Worth. When I was training with him, he said, American men call me Jack, so go ahead and call me Jack. And I did. And so that's what he taught. You may or may not remember the book, High Probability Sales, I believe was one of his books. And that was the basis way back when for disqualification. You want more high probability sales, will disqualify faster and get to the ones that you can serve and that you can help.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that concept. That's something we need to, if all of our listeners, like, put it on a Post-it note and stick it on your monitor, on your dashboard. Who can I disqualify today? Because you're absolutely right. We spend a lot of time spinning our wheels on that. So people, process, and promotion, for our friends watching on YouTube, it's behind Mike on his wall. It is his signature process. Mike, would you be kind enough to unpack that for us? People, process, and promotion.
I'd be happy to, but can we serve everybody one more time on the disqualification thing?
I'd love it. Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
And I'm going to get back to the people, process, and promotion. So what I have learned in my journey, and I didn't know it back then, but I know it today because I continue to teach it, and I keep repeating this a lot. The disqualification strategy, if you will, we call it the triple no-go. If there were 3 questions that we asked and they did not answer them quickly, or did not answer them in the way that they should to become one of our ideal clients, then they were done. They would go, right? That's kind of where the idea for the name came up. But the question, what I want to help everybody with, and I strongly encourage you to write this down, please. Don't think it, ink it. The question is the answer. The question is the answer. So you gentlemen know, I know you know, as salespeople, people in sales and serving other people, if we want to get to the core of anything, we've got to ask the right questions. And the more skilled we are and the more experienced we become in asking those questions, the better we can develop the relationship and the conversation and everything else. So that's what I had to add on. So
I love it.
The people, the processes, and the promotions. When I started a second company called UPP, or Unstoppable Profit Producer, alongside my insurance agency business, I was out teaching. I started doing classes, and people were coming and they're going, this is great. We want more of this. And so I learned, well, if they're going to be able to really take this and do something with this, we need to come up with some kind of a framework. So I have a teammate in UPP who is also a teammate in the insurance agency business. Her name is Andrea Wyatt, who we work together closely to build the framework in UPP, which we later reverse engineered and installed in the agency business, right? So when you think about business, I learned from Dave Anderson, who was a sales guy out of the great state of Texas. Up Your Business was the book that I first learned about Dave. Larry shaking his head, he is. Well, if you remember in that book, what did he say all the time? It's the people, stupid. It's the people, stupid. So it is. But, your people are your business. Your people are everything. And I started all by myself, and I learned that I wanted to get to the point where I could have somebody answer the phone instead of me and do other things instead of me. And that's the only way I was going to grow the business. So we created this philosophy that we call people, processes, and promotion. So it's excellent people. You can only be satisfied with A players on your team. Only the best, not the best available. It's a mindset. It's a cultural operating philosophy, if you will. Excellent people, world-class processes and systems. It's how they operate. It's what they do. It's the protocol that they follow. It's your agency standards, if you will. Excellent people, world-class processes and systems, and then simply promote the heck out of it. And when you can put all three of those together, not in perfection, but here's another one for you. Might encourage you to write this down. If you give it a perfect effort, you will grow your business, create wealth, and have more freedom to live life on your own terms. And when I started teaching this in the early days, I had a videographer, and her name was Dre. She came up to me after one of the events, and she goes, Mike, do you know this stuff you're teaching is transferable to any industry? I said, it is. She goes, yeah. And she goes, I said, wait a minute. And other languages? She goes, yeah. And so that was the beginning of the excitement as to why we do what we do. And we found it to be accurate. And nowadays we have hundreds of agencies that we've taught to grow their businesses 1,000% or more in less than 9 years. And it's a wonderful place to be. I'm speaking to the choir, so you guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is all good, but something tells me that you got a backstory to all of this. So just as somebody gave you that dose of wisdom within 6 months of you being in this industry, something tells me that somebody gave you the inspiration around people, processes, and promotion, because sometimes it's that cold glass of water again that goes, you know what? That was brilliant. Thank you. I'm going to create it my own. I'm going to make this framework. So what's the story behind it?
Well, the story behind it is learning to invest in myself. The late, great Jim Rohn. Mm-hmm. Jim Rohn taught me so much. Among other things, you attract exactly what you are and who you have become. Mm-hmm. And then I learned from Rohn the 8x8x8 philosophy. We all have the same 24/7, 365, 24 hours in a day. So what should we do with those 24 hours? Well, 8 of those hours, generally we need to work and earn income if we're in the working class. All right. And we know us as entrepreneurs, we work more than 8, but stay with the story. So we work 8 hours a day, and then we need rest, right? So we need to sleep. So sleep 8 hours a day. But the key is, what are you doing with those other 8 hours? That's where the magic happens. So I learned early on to invest in myself and reinvest in myself. In fact, I just made a major investment in myself today.
All right.
In where we're going. I now have impossible goals. Seriously. And I have a whole sheet that I created over the weekend outlining my impossible goals.
Love it.
Because that's where I'm going. So it's the reinvestment in yourself. To your question, Larry, mm-hmm. Yes, I was in mastermind groups and I still am, for more than 20 years. And that was the think tank, being around like-minded people mm-hmm. who want to be part of something special. Because in the words of Earl Nightingale, which a billionaire gifted me in 2007 when I invested to go see him for a day to learn everything that he did become a billionaire. We walked out of the room that day, and they gifted us a CD. Remember what a CD was? And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, the strangest secret. I wonder what this is about. Yeah. From Earl Nightingale. So sure. I popped my CD player one morning, and I'm going, OMG. I listened to that thing probably more than 1,000 times. I wore out 4 CDs. And generally, I listened to it on my toughest days. So it it was inspiration from the greats about a way to think about things. And I don't have the philosopher's name. Now I'm not going to scroll and get on my phone, but any given day when we step into a river, we are a certain type of man or woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we step into that same river on a different day, we're a different person because things have changed around us. That's the value of reading your goals, of reading your vision plan, whatever it is, because we are a different person on any given day. Things have changed. We see them with different eyes and read them with a different mind. So that is where the evolution of it all came from, Larry. And as I learned, as I grew, I just started putting things together. And I'm a avid, writer downer. I journal. I write my goals. I have my living your best you ever plan that I work every week. I have an accountability partner that I've had for 13 years, and my weekly rhythm register. And I recently learned a couple of years ago, I have, I write down my 3 gains for the day. I write intentionally how I'm going to win tomorrow, the night before. So subconsciously it works on me when I'm sleeping. I mean, all of this stuff has really helped me, Larry.
Oh, Darrell's geeking out right now, Mike. I know he is. I know Darrell. I know Darrell. He's salivating.
Well, I just want to pause and I just want to pause and everyone listening in, like, think about what you just heard in the last 3 or 4 minutes about the intentional focus of working on yourself. And, there's so much when it comes to growing sales. We want to work in the business. We want to work harder. We're efficient and all of that. Totally get it. Totally get the process side of it. Totally get building relationships with other people. But work, I was reading a book this past week, one of the books I'm reading right now. And the author said that he'd got some advice early in his career. He said, don't look for speaking engagements. Look to be somebody worth listening to. And I thought that right there is just pure gold, because I think it's the same thing in sales and in leadership. We are looking for the next deal or the next great rep to bring on the team or whatever that is. Of course we are. But what we really need to be doing is looking to go, how can I be someone that is worth, how can I continually become someone that is worth that other person's time? And spending that 8 hours working on yourself, I say hats off. I want you to keep talking about that, because I think right there is the missing link in every, every person that wants to go to the next level. That 8 hours and the intentionality right there is such a game changer. What did you hear when you were in the room with Earl Nightingale? I'm fascinated and a little bit jealous that you get to spend the day with Earl Nightingale. What was that like, and what did you walk away with other than the CD?
Well, I didn't get to spend a day with Earl Nightingale. It was a billionaire from the real estate industry who happened.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. So now the timeline makes a little more sense. That's good.
I still have it right here.
Oh, look at that.
That
amazing. The
so
strangest secret.
good.
Yes.
So anyway, I mean, though you can't buy these anymore, this particular version. There's the CD in the back for you, Darrell.
Look at that. Shiny. I hadn't seen one of those in a minute.
So anyway, I forgot that it was there. I actually took it out the other day because, I dog ear things, just like this book right here. I've dog eared all that. You can't see it because of the green, but I was going to look for something, and there's so much wisdom in here. Yeah. I know Nightingale said in this book, as I've heard it so many times, you can't put a value on a good salesperson. Mm-mm. How many of them can you find?
Yeah. Hey, repeat that one again. Hey, repeat that one again for the people that are sitting in the way back row on this.
You can't put a number on the value of a good salesperson.
Yeah.
And the question is, how many of them can you find?
Oh,
there's no limit on what anybody can do in this world. He talks about in the book, you could lose everything 2, 3, 4 times. But if you've made yourself valuable, you can recreate and reinvent.
Mm.
The big takeaway from that book, we become what we think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
We become what we think about. So let me help everybody that I'm going to get a different color piece of paper.
All right.
Everybody that might be, listening to this or watching it, Mike's saying all this stuff. Big deal. What's the carrot? Well, the carrot is at the end of 2020 and sometime in 2021, and it culminated at the end of 2021. I was talking with my friend John, and he said, "Hey, Mike, which one of your kids is going to take over the agency?" And I said, "John, none of them are interested." He said, "What do you think your business is worth?" I said, "I have no idea." He came back to me a couple weeks later, and he handed me a piece of paper. That piece of paper had a number on it, the value of our business. We sold the business. And because that number was well into the 7 figures, that's why this stuff is important. Because when you create something of value to share with other people and to serve them, many will follow.
That's right.
So as an encouragement, it's my personal operating philosophy. And now that I'm doing what I'm doing, and now I get to teach other independent insurance agents everything that I've learned with 100% of my time so they can achieve the same level of financial freedom for themselves and their families. So that's why it's all worthwhile. And
Love it.
It really will work out well if you give it the number one reason, guys, that people don't achieve what they want personally and professionally, right? It's lack of what?
Well, I think it's a D word. It starts with discipline.
Oh, that too. I agree. But the first one, I knew we were kindred spirits. So it's lack of consistency.
Yep.
Right? And you're 100% right, because I learned that from the late, great John Wooden. I got to see him speak live before he passed away. It is the discipline. But then I learned from Brian Tracy. I'm not sure if you're aware, there's no such thing as time management. It's the choices that you make as to what you do with your time. Brian said there's one thing you must focus on, though. Or there's one thing, cancel that. There's one thing you must manage, and that's your focus.
Yeah.
So it's D plus F plus D, the consistency plus the focus plus the discipline. You can have anything you want in this world. And the good news is I also I'm well ingrained into the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Yes.
80% of the people out there, they're never going to do the work to go get it. So you have no competition. Back to Nightingale. The only competition that you make is that you make for yourselves.
Yep.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey, I just got to share something, Darrell, before we just put a nice bow. Hey, Mike, you're welcome back anytime you want. This is music to my ears. But just for some of the, okay, I'm date stamping this one now, but it's all good. So for all these younger generations that are out there, there's something to be said for the oldies but goodies, the Nightingales, the Jim Rohns, the Brian Tracys, the John Woodens of the world. This is classic. They're called legendary for a reason. These are timeless principles that if you just open up your mind and open up your heart, and you do this with consistency and some discipline, great things can happen. But hey, so all you younger people out there, you got to go find these legends, which now you can find on YouTube, by the way, and you can go watch these people along with Selling from the Heart. All right, Darrell.
I love it. Well, hey, Mike, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us today. I know our folks are thinking, how do I get more Mike Stromsoe in my life? Well, thank you. I think most people on the planet may feel the same. My wife, I don't know, but we've been together 35 years and we're still together. Super grateful and blessed. But anyway,
I am out there on most platforms. If you look at my name on the screen, Mike Stromsoe, Stromsoe. If you go to Google and put in my name, you're going to find all kinds of stuff. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. I'm on most social media. You can go to UPP Life, LIFE.com. That's our main website. If you just connect with us, connect with me, I'll be happy to serve you in any way possible. And I've got to add this for Darrell and for you, Larry. So this is something that was born in one of those think tanks a number of years ago. And so one of my marketing buddies, she and I were talking one day. She goes, "Hey, I got this sale going on for these mirrors. You should buy some." I said, "What am I going to do with them?" She goes, "I don't know. You should put something on the front of it." I said, "What shall I write on the front of it?" She goes, "Let's brainstorm about it." So here it is for you guys. Whoops, let me get it on the camera.
Only one
that's
person
so
stands between you and success.
There we
Love it.
go. There
Look
we
in
go.
the mirror, folks. That's great. That's fantastic. Well, Mike, hey, thank you once again for sharing time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you just know.
I love it. I love it. Hey, this has been fantastic. Once again, thanks for sharing your heart with us today, Mike. Really appreciate you, man.
My
Thanks,
honor.
man.
I
Oh,
love
so
it.
good.
Larry,
Oh,
what a
Darrell.
great conversation. And I'm just reminded of the 3 8s, right? You're going to spend some time working. You need to spend some time sleeping. But that other 8 hours, what are you doing with that? What are you doing to proactively grow and improve your value to the people that you serve in those other 8 hours? Mike's absolutely right. Good old Pareto. Vilfredo Pareto said 80% of the people aren't going to do it. So if you'll be the 20% that does it, just watch what happens.
Hey, I've always said this, and the more you invest in yourself, the more you're going to collect on yourself. And
Right.
there's something that could be said from all this timeless wisdom that's out there. What's forever old's forever new. Some of this might be brand new to some of our listeners. That's okay. Some of this could just be possibly the reinforcement you needed to get you from where you're at to where you'd like to be.
And that's the key to becoming unstoppable. Well, thank you for joining us today. Thank you to everyone who is sharing this podcast with your friends, your peers in the sales bullpen, your clients. We're building a movement of authenticity right here in this profession of sales we all love. Until next time, keep being genuine, keep being authentic, keep building trust. Do the work to become unstoppable. And most of all,
Sell from the heart.